All right, we are going to continue talking about, well, just comparing the different ways we can write functions, whether it's as a graph, as a table, as a description, um, even as an equation. So if you look here, it says the function that gives a volume of water Y that flows from faucet A in gallons during X minutes is a linear function. And a lot of times, guys, it's really, really wordy. So really try to decipher what's going on here. So faucet A, we're going however, it's the number of gallons we have. I think it's in gallons, is the number of minutes times how it's flowing. Water B's flow can be described by the equation. So they give us the equation for B. Assume that each faucet is constant. Oh, that's good to know. Okay, so we know it's going to be linear, both of them. And it says which faucet has a faster flow rate. And then we're going to go from there. So we know B is B's equation, but we don't know A, but we have a table that shows A. So let's come down here and I'm going to do this. I'm going to write faucet, trying to spell it correctly. Faucet B is Y equals 5, 6 times X. Now, faucet A, this is the y-axis, it's gallons, time in minutes, right? So we can figure out the slope of this just using rise of a run. Actually, let me write that. We're doing faucet A right here. Okay. And so if we go rise of a run, because remember over here, this right here, this 5, 6, just meant to change color, sorry. That's our slope. Just wrote an equation. Every minute that goes by, we times it by 5, 6. So if I go from 0 to, let's see, I'm looking for where it goes through grid lines. Looks like right here. Okay. I'm rising 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that I went 1, 2, 3, 4 because it's a scale of twos, but this is just ones. So 4, I'm rising 4, and I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Running 7. So I can, if I need to, write that equation. Y equals 4/7 times X. Because remember, our slope, our rate of change, it's the number we're multiplying by. I'm going to keep going up 4 and over 7. Okay. So the first question asked, which one has the greater flow rate? Well, if I were to change these to decimals, because that's a little bit easier to compare instead of finding like a common denominator, I would just go 4 divided by 7, and I'll just write underneath here, that would be 0.5714, so on and so forth, right? 1, 4, dot, dot, dot. And over here, 5 divided by 6 would be 0.8333, dot, dot, dot. Okay. Which one's bigger? Faucet B, right? So we would say that faucet B greater flow rate means more water, you are filling up this tub or whatever faster, right? Because more water is coming out of the faucet. So now it's going to, we're going to talk about how each faucet is being used to fill a tub with a volume of 50 gallons. Okay? And then we'll answer these questions here as we go along. But notice the gallons, that's Y. So when we say we're talking about 50 gallons, we're talking about Y equals 50. Don't always put things in for X. Okay? So I'm going to combine things here. I'm going to combine that with this down here. Now suppose the tub being filled by faucet A already had 15 gallons of water in it. So what we want to do is I'm actually going to do all three. What happens, and it wants to know what tub is going to fill the fastest. But let's compare all three. What if we had faucet A with no water, faucet B with no water, and then faucet A with 15 gallons of water in it? Okay, so here is faucet A. Okay, we have the equation. Sorry. Little mind of its own right here. So hey, there's back to our original notes. And our next one we're going to do. Last one. All right. So faucet A, y equals 4/7 times x. But remember, we're saying x now equals 50 for all of these. So I'm just going to plug 50 in here for y. And I'm going to say 50 equals 4/7 times x. And I'm going to divide both sides by 4/7, but remember, dividing is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. And I'm going to just switch my x around here. And I'll tell you, if you type that into a calculator, 7 times 50 is 350 divided by 4. You're going to get x equals 87.5. So 87.5, x, remember, hopefully this doesn't freak out on me, is the number of minutes. 87.5 minutes. Okay? Now we have faucet B. And we have that equation right here. Y equals 5/6 times x. That's what's given to us. We need to find that one. We're going to use x equals 50, so put 50 in. And remember, solving for x, so to get rid of 5/6, I'm going to divide both sides by 5/6. But dividing is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. And I'm going to switch my x's around again. And x equals, if you go, well, 6 times 50. I messed up. Sorry. You probably were like, Mrs. Messing, you're supposed to put a 5 on the bottom. You're right. 6 times 50 is 300. 300 divided by 5 is 60 minutes. I knew 300 minutes didn't make sense. Okay, so we have 60 minutes. So it'll take 60 minutes to fill the 50-gallon tank. Now we're going to have faucet A again with our 15 gallons. Now, remember from the other day, that's our initial value. Okay, that's how much it's starting with. That's our initial value. So if we write an equation with that initial value, we take what faucet A is here, 4/7 times x, and that's our B plus 15. That's our starting point. If I were to graph this, where would I put my dot on the y-axis? Where would it be at 0? At 0 minutes, at 15. Okay, so don't stress about writing a new equation. You just have to add that 15. And again, going to plug 50 in. 50 equals 4/7 times x plus 15. I'm going to subtract 15 from each side. That works out to be 35. And then again, dividing by 4/7 or multiplying by the reciprocal. This time I'll try to get it right. That's going to leave us with x equals 61.25 minutes. Because again, 7 times 35 and then 4 in the bottom, so you divide by 4. Okay. So if they turn it on at the same time, okay, faucet B is actually still going to go faster. Okay, so if it says which tub's going to fill the fastest, even though faucet A started with 15 minutes, because this rate is greater, faucet B is going to fill up first. Okay, last problem real quick here. So you have Adam and Bianca are competing to see who can save the most money 1 month. Excuse me. So here's Adam's savings, okay? Number of days, amount of money. So at 0 days, he had saved $3. At 1 day, he had saved $6. At 3 days, he had saved, or at 2 days, he had saved 9. 3 days, he had saved probably 12. Okay? Now Bianca here, after 5 days, has $17. 8 days has $26, so on and so forth. Okay? So, they want to know how much you'll have saved at the end of the month. Okay? So this is a straight line. So we can find the slope of this. And by the way, we're going to assume Bianca is a linear function. Okay? Keyword being linear. So if we find the slope, how much is he saving per day, right? That's what slope does. I can go from 3 to 6. I'm going to go up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. So we know our slope here, our m, is 3. Now over here, we don't have to go through all of them to figure out if it is linear, see if they have the same slope, because it tells us it's linear. So if you literally just take a couple points here and do the slope, put that backwards. Sorry. 8, 26. X, Y, X, Y, X1, Y1, X2, Y2. We can find the slope of this line because it's a difference in our Y's over the difference in our X's. So 26 minus 17, 8 minus 5. That works out to be 9 divided by 3. Well, guess what? That's 3. So the slope of this one is also 3. So they're going to have saved the same amount of money at the end of the month. Now, we can write an equation here because we have the y-intercept. Our y-intercept's where it hits the y-axis. So if I wanted to put this in y equals mx plus b form, I have my 3 and I have my 3. So y equals 3 times x plus 3. Okay, so this equation here represents Adam. Let's write an equation quick here for Bianca. Well, now remember, I have my m, but I don't have my b here, so just grab a point. So I'm just going to grab 517. X value, y value. And I'm going to say, we're just going to plug things in to this formula. Y is 17 equals 3 for the m times 5 plus b. That's 17 equals 15 plus b. And I'm going to subtract 15 from each side. And I'm going to get 2 equals b. So if I have an m and a b, I can write my equation. Y equals my slope, 3 times x, plus my y-intercept of 2. So now, at the beginning of the month, how much money do they each have? Well, the beginning of the month is their initial value, is their starting value. Okay? Okay? These here, this b, remember that's our initial value. So that's where we started at. So Adam, I think it is over here. Adam had $3 at the start of the month. And Bianca, oh, I think that was her name, right? Adam and Bianca had $2. Okay? So even though it seems like we're not having a lot of information, we really are. And the information we're missing, we can find out using the tools we've been given. We can compare and we can figure out who had what they started with at the beginning of the month just by using our knowledge of functions when given to us in a table or a graph.